Welcome to episode 15 of Lachie Does Footy. We'll be taking a look at the usual, reviewing round 14, looking at the footy tips, the ladder after round 14, and predicting round 15. And in between, this will be the last time I'll be looking at the breakout players that I predicted pre-season. Brisbane versus St Kilda at the Gabba to start my round 14 review. Brisbane won by 20 points. Jack Higgins and Joe Danaher 5 goals each. Max King and Logan Morris 3 goals each. Hugh McCluggage 2 goals and 26 touches. Mason Woods been in some good form for the Saints. As for Windhager, he kept Lachie Neale quiet. And that is how did St Kilda go from 51 points and winning to 106 points and losing? They're not even boring for once. Western Bulldogs versus Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. What a win by the Bulldogs. 67-point winners. Riley West kicked 4 goals. He's starting to play like his dad, Scotty West. Rory Lobb, Jamara Ugle-Hagan and Bott kicked 3 goals each for the Dogs. Bailey Bearfield and Sam Sturt kicked 3 for Freo. And I almost forgot Cody Waitman kicked 3 as well for the Bulldogs. As for Bontempelli, he's had 30 disposals as well. It's a surprising good game for Lachie Bramble. 134 points on AFL Fantasy. And that will just about wrap up the Dogs game. Richmond versus Hawthorn at the MCG. The final score was Hawthorn 97, Richmond 49. Well, as for Hawthorn, they're looking like a serious finals contender now. As for Richmond, well, time to call it the Richmond VFL again. As for the players, Manuel Charles showed up against his old club, kicking 4 goals. Cal Shadir and Cam McKenzie 2 goals each. James Sicily back to last year's best with 15 touches. The only good thing about Richmond was Dustin Martin kicked the first goal in his 300th game and Tim Taranto 33 touches. As for the game itself, Richmond were only competitive for the first 10 minutes. Adelaide versus Sydney, the final score was Sydney 109, Adelaide 67. As for Sydney, they extend their lead at the top even further. Adelaide's finals chances are gone. For the Swans, it was another good game for Errol Gordon, 35 touches. Isaac Heaney, 29 touches and 2 goals. Brodie Grundy, 31 touches and 49 headouts. Lock him in the All-Australian team. As for the Crows, Jordan Dawson kicked a goal and 17 touches, but was tagged by James Jordan. Fogarty and Rankin kicked 2 each for the Crows. As for the Amati party, 9 goals, 10 kicks. What a game for Joel Amati. If you're watching this, Joel Amati, where's my invite to your party? North Melbourne versus Collingwood at Marvel Stadium. The final score was Collingwood 119, North Melbourne 118. 1 point win for Collingwood. North Melbourne were up by 54 points in the third quarter. Will Phillips did a very good job tagging Nick Dacos until Clarko subbed him off. That was one of his poor coaching decisions, although he doesn't make many. Bobby Hill kicked 5 goals for Collingwood. Lachie Schultz kicked 4 goals for Collingwood. Nick Larkey kicked 4 in the first quarter. It looked like he was going to hit the 105 mark, but he just stopped the quarter time. Cam Zohar kicked 3 goals, 1. As for the players, George Wardlaw, 30 touches and a goal. Jack Crisp, 27 touches and a goal. Tristan Sherry, 30 headouts in the ruck and 2 goals. As for the game itself, North Melbourne hit the high score at half-time. GWS versus Port Adelaide at Giants Stadium. Well, it was a kind of an inaccurate game. GWS got the job done by 22 points, winning 73-51. Mitch Georgiadis kicked 3 goals for Port. Callum Brown, 2 goals for GWS. Toby Green and Jesse Hogan got it done, but 2 goals, 8 combined. Dan Houston had 133 points on AFL Fantasy with 35 touches from half-back. Lachie Whitfield, another great game, 28 touches. As for Zach Butters, his suspension's lifted yet again. If he gets to the tribunal one more time, he's surely going to get suspended. As for Connor Rosie, well, lackluster game from him in his first game back. Starting to remind me of Dominic Cassisi from when Port Adelaide didn't do well in 2011. And now we move on to the footy tipping. Brisbane versus St Kilda, I picked the Lions, they got it done. Bulldogs and Fremantle, I picked Freo, but the Bulldogs got it done in a convincing fashion. Richmond Hawthorn, I picked the Hawks, they got it done. Crows and the Swans, I picked the Crows, but the Swans got up by 42 points. North Melbourne and Collingwood, I picked the Magpies, they did it. GWS and Port Adelaide, I picked the Giants, they got it done. Tipping score for the week is 4 out of 6. For the season, it's 67 out of 120. Now we move on to the ladder. Top of the ladder, we got the Sydney Swans. That's their season to lose. They have not lost a game since, well, back in round 3. Carlton are second on the ladder. After they went over the bye. Collingwood are back up to third. I was not surprised to see them back in the top 4 earlier in the year. Essendon, they're fourth on the ladder, dropped down after losing to the bye. Fifth, we got GWS, they're back up to 5th. 6th on the ladder, we got Geelong. They've been struggling to get players healthy, and they just lost to the bye. 7th, we got Port Adelaide. They're on a 2-game losing streak. 8th, we got Freo, inconsistent all year. Let's see if they can stay in the 8. Western Bulldogs are currently sitting 9th, playing very good footy right now. 10th on the ladder, we got Gold Coast. They dropped down a bit after losing to the bye. 11th on the ladder, we got Melbourne. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games, been in poor form right now. 12th on the ladder, we got Hawthorn. They've won 4 in a row, starting to come up. They got the bye this week, and they got West Coast next week. Let's see if they can keep it up and go 5 out of 5. 13th, we got Brisbane Lions. They're slowly getting back up there. They're showing some good form. 14th, we've got St Kilda. Season done. Season is already over for the bottom 4 teams, which are Adelaide, West Coast, Richmond, and North Melbourne. Only North Melbourne managed to show some competitive spirit. Now we move on to the breakout players. The breakout player I picked pre-season for Adelaide is Riley Philthorpe. He played 21 games last year. 10.6 possessions a game, 3.5 marks a game, 1.5 tackles a game. His efficiency 67%. Goals he scored was 18 with a scoring accuracy of 56% and 4.3 score involvements. This year he didn't even play at all because he did a foot injury one day after the pre-season video was published. And the actual breakout player is Lachie Does. For Collingwood, I picked Finlay McRae. Last year he played once. This year he's played 8 games, 9.9 possessions a game, 2.5 tackles a game, efficiency 66%, 2 clearances, and he's kicked 4 goals this season. And his scoring accuracy has gone up to 80%. And the actual breakout player is Jack Crisp. For Hawthorn, I've got Jack Ginnivan. His disposals went up by 6.5, marks went up by 2, tackles have gone up by 1.3. His efficiency's gone from 67% last year to 59 this year. He's gone from 12 goals last year to 15 goals this year. Scoring accuracy gone from 46% last year to 37% this yering. His score of moments have gone from 3.7 last year to 5.3 this year. And the actual breakout player is Massimo D'Ambrosio. For Richmond, we got Josh Gibcus. He played 18 games 2 years ago. His efficiency was 77%. He's had 6.41 percenters, 5.7 spoils, and 4.1 intercepts. This year he played 2 games, looked promising before he went down injured. And the breakout player is no one because they've all been injured. For St Kilda, I've got Liam Henry. Last year he played half-back and wing for Fremantle, played for 16 games. He's 2024, he's in a new role for St Kilda in a new club, half-back, playing more wing and half-forward. He's been getting less of the ball and taking 2.3 less marks. Tackles stayed the same. His efficiency went from 71 to 74. Clearances went from 1.1 to 1.4. Goals have gone from 1.1 to 6. Scoring accuracy's gone from 9% to 43%. And the actual breakout player is the Cy Wagani Malira. For the Western Bulldogs, I've got Sam Darcy. Last year he's played 3 games and did not kick a single goal. This year he's played 11 games. He's had 8.3 more possessions, 4.7 more marks, and 0.1 more tackles. His efficiency's gone from 50% last year to 66 this year. His goals have gone from 0 last year to 22 this year. His scoring accuracy's gone from 0% last year to 65% this year. Score involvements from 1.3 last year to 5.1 this year. He's improved massively, and he's the actual breakout player. And that is it for the breakout players. And now we move on to the round 15 prediction. First game of the round, we got Carlton and Geelong at the MCG. It's the second reverse fixture of the year. Last time they met, Geelong won by 13 points in a very high-scoring game. And this time around, I've got Carlton by 25 points due to the fact that Geelong have got so many injuries to deal with. Best players for Carlton are going with the Twin Towers and Paddy Cripps. For Geelong, I've got Max Holmes. This is the period where Geelong could start to drop off. Port Adelaide versus Brisbane at Adelaide Oval. I'm only wearing this jersey for this prediction because I've lost the fourth last week and to celebrate 20 years of Port Adelaide winning the 2004 Premiership. As for the game, and don't worry, this will come straight off next week. As for the game itself, I've got Brisbane by 10 points. Best players I'm going with Hugh McCluggage, Logan Morris and Joe Danaher up forward. For Port Adelaide, I'm going with Todd Marshall up forward and the midfield pair of Zach Butters and Ollie Wines. History, sadly, I don't think it'll repeat itself from 20 years ago. And now we got the second instalment of the Sydney Derby. GWS in Sydney, it's at the Giant Stadium. I'm going with the Swans by 5 points in this one. Best players for the Swans got the midfield trio and Brady Grundy. GWS, I'm going with Tom Green. Last time he got injured in the first quarter, which cost GWS the game. Toby Green, and I'll go Xavier O'Halloran. This should be a good game. It could go either way because it's a derby. Melbourne versus North Melbourne at the MCG. What a dull and average Saturday night game this is going to be. Why not swap it with the Sydney Derby before the round even starts? This is going to be a poor game. And for the first time in Lachie Does football history, I'm calling it a draw. Best players for Melbourne, I'm going with Max Gawn, Alex Neil-Bolland and Jacob Van Rooyen. And this is the first time in Lachie Does footy history, I will not be picking Christian Petrarca because of his injury. North Melbourne, I'm going with Tristan Sherry in the ruck, Harry Sheasel and Luke Davies-Uniacke. I can't see that being a good primetime game. Essendon versus West Coast at Marvel Stadium. It's the 31st anniversary of the jacket-waving game in 1993. As for the game itself, I can't see it being a competitive game. Last time out, West Coast lost by 6 points at Optus. But this time, they got no Harley Reid. Still out suspended. I got Essendon by 60 points. Best players for Essendon, I got Zach Merritt, Jai Caldwell and Nick Martin. West Coast, Jake Waterman, that's about it. As for Essendon, there's no need to pack your suitcases or toiletries because you're staying in Melbourne till the last round when they play Brisbane at the Gabba. We've got to the last game of the round now. Fremantle versus Gold Coast in Perth. This is the second longest flight in the calendar. This game should play out in Fremantle's hands. I got the Dockers by 21 points. Best players for Freo, I got Andrew Brayshaw, Caleb Sarong and Luke Ryan. For the Gold Coast, I got the 2019 draft class trio and Benjamin King. As for the game itself, it'll be also Jeremy Sharp's first game against his old club. That will just about wrap up round 15, and that's the last week of bye week. And next week we'll be back to normal. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you next week.